Hello! Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida, and today, guess what? Guess what? I have the best surprise ever, and that is my BFF, Christine Ju. She is amazing. I don't even really know where to start. I did not meet her until I was like 40 years old, but then once we did meet each other, I was like, don't you ever leave me.
Oh my goodness.
I pulled her into my spider web of weird. I was like,
And I'm never allowed to leave.
when when we're together, we laugh like we're 5 years old. When it's just the two of us, when you put other people in the mix of this situation, it's not the same. But when it's just you and me, we laugh like we're five. The world is gonna be okay. You love me, and the darkest dark part of my heart, and I love you in the darkest dark part of yours. Yeah, everything's on the table, nothing is hidden, and it's pretty cool to have a friend like that. So without further ado, the most amazing lady in the entire universe, Christine Ju.
Aw, thank you. What an introduction. I'm so excited to be here. And I'll just say, same. Um, we're very similar in age, and I really appreciate our friendship so much. I think, you said it's like, oh, it's like we're become like 5-year-olds again, or I forget exactly how you phrased it. But I think it's because, and we've talked about this, our inner children just connect with each other so well. Like they're just thick as thieves. Um, and I've never had a friendship like that before where it's just like my younger self is just like, yes, like just instantly bonded with someone else and just gets along so well. And I really also appreciate just how safe I feel with you. Like, there's never any judgment or any fear of anything. I just feel completely accepted by you.
Same. Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Completely. Yeah. I mean, and like there's like in terms of like real world issues, what we have going on in the day to day, we have pretty different lives, like in terms of like what the problems are, but like there's no judgment around any of that stuff. It's just sort of all welcomed and accepted and loved and held,
Yes.
very held, like whatever the situation and thing is. And then always running in the background, we're 5 years old and we're giggling in a corner and nobody knows what's as funny. Nobody thinks is what's as funny as we think is what's funny.
Our adult selves don't even necessarily know.
Oh my God, true that. True that. Seriously. Yeah, we originally met in Rennie class 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
I think so. Yeah, probably like just over 5 years ago.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
class. I think we were learning how to read the Akashic records or something, and I was curious about Christine on the screen. I was like, who dat? And then later we ended up in some other classes together. Ultimately, Christine flew from New York City to California, and we went on a weekend retreat together, also hosted by Rennie at the Light Heels. And that's where we really got to know each other, and went to the retreat in the car together. And yeah, inseparable since.
Yeah, pretty much. Because then I moved to California like a month after that, and then we've been hanging out ever since.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
wild ride. So a little bit at Christine's story. They're a healer, like I'm a healer. Also, very much on the healing journey, just like I'm very much on the healing journey. You know, we can be healers, and also we're very much in the process of always every day in and day out doing our work also. But yeah, tell a little, share your story. God, share your healing journey story in like, what is the compact version of that?
Mm,
Starting in New York.
yeah. So if I reflect back, I think there was a part of me that was kind of always on this healing journey, on this healing path, little things happening here and there throughout my life. I'd say though, it really started Well, I'd say, a lot of people talk about like their quarter life crisis, and I kind of really went through that actually, like around 25, 26.
Mm.
I was so like focused on my career and I had advanced pretty quickly, pretty early on. Like you know, had been promoted to a manager at my corporate job when I was 25. And things, from the outside looking in, for all intents and purposes, things were going pretty well. Um, but internally, I was really unhappy. Like I'd been searching for my purpose, like why am I here? Like I remember even having conversations with my mom when I was younger, kind of just knowing that like I was meant for bigger things. But, my mom was like, don't worry about that. Like just worry about creating a safe and comfortable life for yourself.
Right.
And that just didn't really resonate with me. But I was like, but I was
Whoops.
like, okay, let me just follow the path anyway. So I did.
Yeah.
And so, here I am at like 25, 26, being like, what is this life all about? Like I should be really happy and content. And I just wasn't. I was just really unhappy. And so I think that's what prompted me just to start looking into like what can I do, right? And so the first path was I ended up working with a life coach. I had no idea what that meant, but it just, I stumbled upon that. And then I started working with therapists, and then I started working with other healers, more metaphysical healers. And then when my mom passed away a little over 11 years ago, I reconnected with a friend who I met with her. I'd met her in my corporate job. And then when we both left that job, that company, we lost touch. And then somehow we ended up reconnecting. And she had started her own business. And then someone else who had the same business coach, um, she was a facilitator in a modality called Psych K, which um, is all about transforming your limiting beliefs into self-empowering ones. And so, my friend Nikki, she was like, I met this person who does this modality, and she's going to be teaching a workshop in New York City. And it was like, in a couple weekends. And I had no idea. I didn't really absorb what she was saying, and I didn't really know what I would be learning, but I trusted my friend. And also, we were having dinner when she shared this with me, and the candle on the table blew out. And
Mm.
neither of us said it to each other at the time. But we were both thinking, like, that's my mom saying,
Mm.
yes,
Yes.
do this.
Hmm.
So I went within 10 minutes. And that was really my first introduction and first experience to any kind of like metaphysical healing. So I was like, but within the first 10 minutes, I was like, yes, this is what I need. This is what I've been looking for, or at least it's the start. And so that really started my healing journey in that way.
Hmm.
So that was in 2014.
Hmm.
And I'd say those first 5 years are really just a lot of, um, foundational healing. And then in 2019, because I took a few more workshops through, using Psyche, and then I ended up in this health and well-being workshop for Psyche in 2019, and that really was a turning point for me.
Hmm.
That's when I went much deeper. I always say I was kind of like driving on the local roads, like, and like that workshop like got me on the ramp onto the highway of my healing, and it's like, okay, now we're really going somewhere now.
Getting off the back
Um,
roads, baby. You're close
yeah,
out. You've got
yeah.
a New York City driver on the ramp. You're like, where you going, New Jersey or Philadelphia?
Apparently I was heading west.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. So in 2018, I met my friend Sonia, and she's the one who introduced me to Rennie.
Mm.
And so I remember because I had also really felt this pull out west for a really long time, but I just didn't know how it was going to happen. And I'd, been in my apartment for like 18 years.
In
And I,
Manhattan.
Right. And I just didn't know how I could make that happen because I also just had all this stuff in my apartment. I mean, it just felt like this
An entire
overwhelming
life.
mountain. Yes,
That's a long
exactly.
time. It's a long time. It's a whole life.
Yes, in this tiny studio apartment. Yep. And then in that first class that I took with Rennie, you know, we went into the healing transmission first. So then she's like, "Oh, and one of you is going to move to the West Coast." And I was like, "Wait, is that me?" And then after the transmission, when she was, going around to each of us, she's like, "Oh, I think you're the one that's moving out west." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "It'll be in 3 to 6 months." And what's crazy is I was like in that class on that date, I was 6 months from the end of my lease because I
Mm,
was on a year-to-year lease. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to make this happen in 6 months?" And I'm not really entirely sure how it all happened, but it happened.
yes.
And so, yeah, I stayed with Rennie's business partner at the time, Yvonne. I stayed with her. She had a guest room. And I stayed with her for about 6 months. And then I moved into my own apartment. I stayed there for 2 years,
And never
all in the Bay
unpacked
Area.
anything. And never
Yes,
unpacked anything.
exactly. Yes, because this is the craziest thing. As soon as I walked into my door that first time,
Yeah.
um, and not when I saw the place, but when I walked in the door, and I just got this hit being like, "You're not going to stay here very long."
Hmm.
And I thought, okay, that's great, but in the meantime, I'm just moving in, so let me get a little settled. And yet, I don't know if it's because I had heard that or what, but I was just like, well, I'm not really going to unpack anything except what I absolutely need.
Yeah.
Because why go through the process of unpacking if I'm just going to be packing again?
Yeah.
Um,
I remember the first time I came over your house, I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, what's next? Where are you going?
yeah. I mean, it was perfect and exactly what I needed for the
Yes,
period of time that I was there.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, and then like maybe about 6 months after that, when I was there, I was doing like a meditation, and what came through very clearly was like, you need to get on the road and start, exploring where you might want to move next. Um, so then I had reached out to you and I said, "Hey, do you want to go on a road trip?" And you were like,
Yeah,
"Yes." And that was like the most fun road trip I think
ever.
either of us have ever had.
We had like a total, such a blast going up the Pacific Northwest coastline. So California up into, I think that the farthest we got on that trip was Lincoln, Oregon. Is that true?
I think so, yeah. Like
Yeah.
mid Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. It was so fun. I can't even with all the things along the way.
Yeah. And it was really great too because we didn't really, I mean, we had some things planned. We had like a general outline.
Hmm.
But even some of the, like, we didn't even really like book hotels. Like, it was very unlike either of us, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Certainly, it was very unlike me to not have everything planned out and to know exactly what I'm going to do each day. And
We know where we were going the first night. We booked our first night's hotel stay, and then
yes.
after that, we totally played it by ear.
Hmm.
And we knew the first night we were going to the Trees of Mystery
Oh my gosh.
and the
Yes.
Trees of Mystery Hotel. And I love a kitschy hotel, and Christine played along. You may love a kitschy hotel too, but you played along with me for sure.
Yes.
But this place was ridiculous. Oh my God. And the door didn't even lock. We had to put like
Chair
a chair under the door.
under the
We're like
knob.
looking at each other. But it's right across the street from the Trees of Mystery, which was like all of these like tall redwoods within like I think it was like a mile of rope like above the canopy floor, like
Yeah.
rope walking from tree to tree. What would you call that? It's like a trail. It's a hiking
Yeah.
trail, but it's in the tree canopy.
Right. With
Yeah,
like
tell that
walking
story.
bridges. So the little girl in me, she's very adventurous, right? And she was
Yeah.
like, yes. Like when we saw them, when we saw the bridges, we are like, yes, absolutely, let's do it. And then, adult me though, like current version of me is like terrified of heights. So as we're like walking up the steps to the first bridge. I was like, oh, this is pretty high. And then, when you walk on the bridge, I was like, how secure and sturdy are these? Because I still to this day, there are certain fears that grip me, but I was very much living in fear back then during the trip. So I was like, oh my gosh, like how secure are these? Like, are we gonna fall? So here I am, like, like
I
gripping
had
onto like the
no
rope.
idea.
I'm like gripping onto the rope netting,
Yes.
right? Being like, well, if it falls, at least I'm holding onto the rope. I was like, oh my gosh, the whole time I'm crossing, I'm like, you're gonna be fine. I got this. I'm safe. I'm protected. Like I was just saying all these things, running all these mantras, like as I'm crossing. And also you were ahead of me, so that was also like I was feeling like the reverberations of like
Yeah.
your steps, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
I'm
the whole thing was
skipping and
moving.
dancing on the rope. Like, oh my God, isn't this
Yeah. And here I am being like gripping and like holding on for life. And then, we were like the only two people there, right? So, because we went at a time of the year, I guess, and
fun?
it wasn't very busy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go through nine more of these. And I was like, maybe I just turn around and walk back the one that we just crossed, and then I'll meet you on like the other side. I never said that to you though until after the fact. But there was something in me that was like, no, just keep going. We've got this. And it also helped because you were like, there were times when you're like, why don't you go in front? And I was like, okay, thinking that would be worse, but that was actually a lot better. And
Yeah.
then by the end, I was actually allowing myself to take it in, like, oh, look, we're like high above the ground. Look at how beautiful this is. Um, yeah,
I love
but that was
that.
quite an adventure. Yeah.
It was great. I mean, that was so fun. Oh my gosh. And all of that janky artwork with like the buttons that you could push, and it's
Oh,
like
yes, the
Paul
Paul
Bunyan.
Bunyan. And those two huge statues of Paul Bunyan and Babe, like at the
Hmm.
entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was great. I mean, at the end, I remember thinking like, "Ugh, I didn't want to leave. I was asking the trees, like, can I stay? They're like, no, you gotta go. You can come back, but you can't stay.
Oh my God, I love that so much. Something I would share is like Christine also talks to trees. We both communicate with trees
Yes.
in words, like to hear
Hmm.
trees, which is super duper cool. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And there were so many Bigfoot sculptures on that trip,
Yes.
and I adore Bigfoot. So I kissed a lot of sculptures.
Yeah.
Truly kissed them, not air kissing. I kissed
Yep. Got a lot of photos of that too.
I'm thinking you had written a blog post about it, so maybe you have a better memory because you wrote the story out. Because this was a hot minute ago. I'm trying to reflect back. But we have that sand dollar story too, I feel like, from
Yes.
the trip.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time on the beaches because obviously we were driving along
Mhm.
the coast. And then whether it was like morning meditation, like, walking along the beach, or just, whenever we came across a beach, like, hey, let's walk. And then at some point on one of the beaches, I think we started to see sand dollar pieces. And we
Yeah.
thought, oh, it'd be so great if we can um if we could come across like a fully intact sand dollar. Because
Yep.
even ones that were like, whole pieces, but they were like still eaten out, right? The shell was
Mhm.
like broken into.
Right.
And so we walked all along, I say all along, but maybe it was like a mile along a beach, and we didn't find anything. And we were like, oh, but we're like holding out hope. It's like maybe we'll find it on the way back, right? Because things were constantly washing up and washing away, right? And so, um, we walked in one direction and we didn't find anything. And it was really disappointing. And then we turned around and it's like, let's still, we still could come across one. And then we did. Like it was almost at the
Yeah.
end of our walk on the way back. And we found one. We were like, oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
exciting.
And it was like the
And then,
perfect sand dollar.
yes. So we both took a picture of it. And then we went to another beach, and then we weren't even looking for them. And then we found two.
Perfect ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Up
So
until that point, we hadn't asked for it, but then we were like, Spirit, bring us the perfect sand dollar. And then all of a sudden, the perfect sand dollars were materializing.
Yes.
I did give out hope though. At one point I gave out hope. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. It's still great even if it doesn't. And you were like, nope, you just gotta hang in there. And then it literally materialized.
Yeah. And you were really great. You let me have that first one. And then when we found the second one, obviously that was yours. And
Yes.
then when we found the third one, you were like, well, give it to a friend, you know? And then it turned out that you had left yours in the car
Rental. Yeah.
rental.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I guess the third one is yours because you're the friend that I
Yeah.
was going to
Yeah.
give it to.
Yeah. We had to find three because I left one in the car rental that we rented. Yeah. When we returned the car. Oh my God. That was such a great, exciting story. Yeah. It was just a really super duper great trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and since then, so many things have happened. Just your life has taken off in a way where I honestly just marvel at how far you've come and the healing work and the things that you're doing. Like Christine ended up taking it to the limit when leaving Walnut Creek, buying a really gorgeous car, and hitting the road, like fully living a nomadic existence, and being called to travel all over and experience the land in different places. And you're doing it.
Yes.
Like it
Yes.
wasn't that long ago that you were in an apartment, a studio apartment full of stuff in Manhattan.
Right.
It really wasn't that long ago. And now you are a beachcomber coastal girl that travels all over in your hot car. I mean, like, it's just,
Yeah. I'm living the life that I always dreamt of.
yeah,
I just didn't, but even 6 months ago, I had no idea like how is it going to happen,
yeah,
right? So like I even though I've had my license since I was 16, I never owned my own car. And then living in New York City, I mean, I didn't drive for a good 18, 20 years. And then I didn't have a car. I wasn't ready to get a car once I moved out to California, even though everyone's like, you have to have a car. I was like, no, I can do it. I mean, that's partly why I moved to Walnut Creek because I could walk. It was within walking distance and there was public transportation. Um, but then at some point it was like, okay, it's time. I'm ready to get a car. And I mean, you've been with me every step of the way. Like you helped me so much when we went to test drive the cars. It turns out the first one was it, but it's like, well,
it's
can I
so
really
interesting.
trust?
Yeah. I mean, you knew it.
Yes.
We actually kind of both did, but like, you can't just go test drive one car. We had to test drive cars the whole day, except
Right.
Kias. I can't possibly put you in a Kia, too. I can't possibly put you in a Kia today.
Right. There were a couple like that in the Toyota, like there were just no cars to test drive. So I was like, thanks, universe, for,
Yeah.
because honestly, we wouldn't have had the energy to test drive at every place, every dealer that we went to.
Yeah.
We test drove 4 cars, and that was like a lot.
Is that
I,
all? God, it
yeah,
felt like a lot more than that.
I know, right? Yeah. But yeah, the first one was it. But I still appreciate having test drove the other three because none of the other three were, matched the first one.
Mm-mm.
So it just confirmed for me, like, yep, that's the one. And then I went the next day and I got it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. And then,
And it was waiting for you.
yes,
Somebody else wanted that car, and the guy honored you,
yeah,
honored what he had said to you earlier in that day. I mean,
yeah.
this was right after,
Oh, with all the tariffs. So like also like cars were just, that's also why cars weren't available because everyone was buying cars
right.
before,
The
the
tariffs
t
were changing or something.
hmm
Literally that weekend that you got the nudge from Spirit that it's time for you to get this car.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why it was SOL at the Kia factory. We went to Kia, and I cannot even describe this experience, but we like pulled into the parking lot. Everything about it was a no right off the start.
Yeah.
We could hardly get into the parking spot. It was the jankiest parking lot ever. We get out. No one was there to help us, right?
Oh, and not only that, sorry, just to take a step back.
Yes.
It was like just down the road.
Oh,
from the previous dealership, and it took us like 15 minutes to get there. We
yeah.
were driving all over, like in circles. We finally get there, right? We barely found a spot that we could park in.
Yeah. Oh my God. We get out. There were people just like milling around the inside. And I looked at Chris, I was like, those are people, right? Because like they were milling around like they were spirits. I mean, it was like Beetlejuice waiting room or something. Like it was really messed up in there. And so we were waiting and waiting. We took a turn a few times around, possibly even used the restroom. I can't totally remember. But then this guy finally, severely overweight, very tall, his clothes were ill-fitting, and he looked like he was in the middle of having a panic attack, and he had sweat rubbing down from his brow. His shirt was unbuttoned, and he looked like he was absolutely in the throes of having some sort of a panic attack. And
Yeah,
we were
totally
like,
out of breath.
yes.
Like, yeah.
Oh my God. And we were like, hi.
Yeah, I was like, hi. So the only reason I was like, let's go there, because a lot of the rental cars that
Yes.
a lot of the cars I had rented up until that point were always a Kia Soul. So I had gotten
Yeah.
comfortable driving it. So I thought, why not? Let's just see. Also, a couple of friends pointed out, like, oh my gosh, it's a Soul, but with a brand with a car like Soul, like you have to look into it, right? So I was like, hi, I'm interested in test driving a Kia Soul and I think maybe a Sorento because others had said, like, why don't you look into that because it's a little bigger. And he's like, well, these are the cars that I have available, neither of which were a Soul or a Sorento. And then he also was like, you cannot test drive more than one car. And I don't have anyone to take you for a test drive for another 2 hours.
I can't possibly put you in two cars. He was like shaking, little sweat. We were watching the sweat drip down his forehead and face. I was like, that man. And I was really proud of Christine. And he was like, can you come back tomorrow? And Christine was like, I need to check my calendar. It was just a very obvious, like, this is not in alignment. Let's GTFO out of here. Um, oh my God. I can't get that guy out of my head because it was so incredibly funny. I was like, this man is having a bad day.
Yeah. And also, no one wanted to help us. I mean, we had to chase that guy down. Like, we followed him from like,
Yeah,
up through the whole place.
I mean, I guess that I honestly don't know what to say, but like you were ready to buy a car that day. So it's like you
Mhm.
are a customer that's ready to buy a car. I mean, like, and everything about the car that you ended up choosing, it was just all yeses. The dealership was beautiful. What dealership was that? What car did you get? Would you get a Mazda?
I got a Mazda.
Mazda.
Hmm.
The dealership was beautiful. The guy he cared about the sale. He was extremely engaging. He shared enough about his life to make him interesting. Like it was very positive experience. He got the quote, like, tried your cell phone in the car and all that. Yeah. He,
Yeah. The car, also the color, because everyone kept asking me, like, what color car do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have like that. And when I would try to think about it, I'm like, I have no idea. And then it ended up being the perfect color, like a color that I wouldn't have known existed. Like, I wouldn't
yeah,
have even thought to think, like, that's what I want. And the name is Quartz, which is
yeah. Which
even
is perfect for
better.
you. Yes.
Yeah. And then when you mentioned, like, oh, the salesperson got the cord for me to like plug in my phone. And then the song that ended up playing was like Time for Me to Fly, right?
Yeah.
Because I had created this like this playlist of like songs about like flying because it was like just to kind of get me into that like space of
Yes.
like and I imagined that like oh I would play it as I was like driving around to like the different places where I was traveling.
Yes. And literally, that's what just of its own accord just immediately started playing. So, like, just sharing with the listening audience, like, this is the sort of stuff that one would say are signs and synchronicities, the sort of things that show up in the universe to just show you. Like, the Kia story is that's a no.
Right.
And like everything at the Mazda place was like, yes, 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 yes. Even the fact that that car was there for you to try, and that maybe even more than one person was trying to come get that car, but they
Yeah.
were honoring a situation of you taking that car. So yeah, it was just everything was in alignment.
Yeah. And we had to go to another city, another town, like I think it was Concord, to go to the Mazda dealership because there was no Mazda dealership in Walnut Creek. And yet
Hmm.
when we went to another dealership in Walnut Creek, it was like the GPS was like turn right onto Mazda Drive, even
That's
though
right. Oh
there
my God.
was no Mazda.
Oh my God, that's when we were going to the Subaru factory. Like the
Yes.
not factory, the store. Like we were going to drive the Subarus and the Subaru store was on Mazda Drive.
Yeah. And it was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, we were driving the Subarus. I think it was Christine was behind the wheel of a Subaru Forester, and appropriately, she was wearing her hiking boots. But like, we were driving down the highway, and I said to the guy in the back seat, I was like, "Where is the closest SPCA? Because we need to go get a big dog, a puffy jacket, and you need to change your sexual orientation immediately. Like, this is just not going to work."
But then the guy was like, well, actually, we have a partnership with the local SPCA. So, like, if I really did purchase a Subaru, then like they would hook me up with the SPCA.
Yes, he did not think that I was funny. But you did. No, because it's true. Like it because he's just because it's serious. That's true. Like
Hmm.
everybody that gets a Subaru also gets a Patagonia jacket and a golden retriever.
Yeah. I wouldn't just be getting a car, I'd be adopting a whole new lifestyle. I mean, they even had like there was like the regular version and then the wilderness version. I was like, I do not need the wilderness version. Like I think, because I recognize, listen, I just saw a post of one guy who was quite literally living out of his Subaru Outback, right? Like
Yes.
you see like he's really doing it like fully functioning out of his car, which I'm like, that is not me. But I think I kind of gave people like I think they thought that I was going to be like that, like really rugged. Because they're like, "Do you want the wilderness version?" I was like, "No, there is no need for that."
The Subarus come with an extra secret 3 gallon tank of gas. So, like, somewhere there's a secret 3 gallons of gas that somehow are in there in case you get stuck in the desert or on your way up to the waterfall.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Meanwhile, my biggest concern was like, oh, like because he brought out one car to test drive. I was like, oh, can I test drive that one instead? Because I like the color better.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a good sport.
Yeah, he really was.
Not funny, but a good sport.
Yeah. And then when we went to the Toyota dealer and they had no cars to test drive, but he's like, come on, I gotta get you into some kind of car. So he's like, do you want to drive this truck, this Toyota Tacoma truck? I was like, uh, I'm like, for a truck. I mean, it's a cute truck, but like, no, I'm not a truck person.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and then I just got so confused because there was someone like whose actual their own car like they had parked and I was like, what about that one? He was like, oh, that's someone's car.
No,
That's not one of ours.
what is that Ford? What was that car we had driven when we were up in Sedona? What is the
Oh, I think a RAV4.
It's a RAV4 and then Sophie ended up getting one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, all the
Yeah.
cars that we've driven when we are on road trips and like on vacations end up being like, "Oh, what about that car? What about that car?" Yeah, anyway, Christine declined driving a truck, although I would have liked to see her short ass get up on the little like pull yourself up behind the wheel. You would have like, like how you have to step up and then step up. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
I would have enjoyed that. I might have turned my camera on and made a video.
But Frida was really great. She was super supportive. She took notes so that like of
Oh
everything that they
yeah.
said, right? Because
Mhm.
obviously I wasn't going to be writing those notes down as I was driving, and I didn't. So that way I didn't have to try to remember it all in my head.
Yes.
And yeah,
It was still
really,
it was easy. You wanted the
yes,
Mazda, but you had to do it. And then we went actually, you test drove even another car. The last one,
yeah,
we were both pretty tapped out, but I do remember going to one more place, and that was like
yeah.
that was
It was a
you
Honda. Yeah,
because it was all sorts of cars there.
yeah,
Yeah. And then we went
yeah,
things.
yes. And we were so exhausted. We were just sitting there in the restaurant like zombies.
It actually took me like an entire day to recover from that. I don't
Yeah,
know why. I don't know why. It was just a lot of energy output, I think. It's a lot to like look at a lot of cars and really like engage with that many different people and have all those
yeah.
interactions and I don't know, man. Maybe pick something up at the Kia dealer.
Mm.
Oh man. So where are you now?
I am in Seaside, California. And I'm doing like short-term furnished rentals. And so I really love it here. Um, I'm staying on the second floor of a house owned by this really lovely couple. And they themselves are like a 5-minute drive from the beach. But then I have so many different beaches so easily accessible to me within like 15, 20 minutes. Um, and each town is so beautiful. And that's when I realized, like, when I'm at the beach, I'm like, wow, like this is at least at this moment right now, like that's all that really matters. Like I just got this clarity, like all you have to worry about are three things, like just your corporate job, going to the beach, and resting.
Yeah.
Like, and just the amount of like I worked with an astrologer who she had said, like, I think after I spoke with her after our road trip, and she was like, there's nothing that accelerates growth and learning than traveling and being on the road, just because like you're exposed to all these different things and like, you know, just being in different environments. And that's certainly for sure. Because even though I'm in Seaside now, so you helped me with my move, even though I didn't really unpack boxes. I don't know, it was still just that packing process was just
Mm,
really overwhelming.
mm,
And you just came in and saved the day. Like you were so calm and you were just like, okay, like let's do this. And within a few short hours between you and the movers were also super helpful. Like we got it all done.
mhm.
But at that point, because I'd been like up for like, I don't know, 2 days straight, like with
Wow.
very little sleep. So my body like shut down and like Frida's like, just drink water and eat something. And
Mhm.
so yeah, you really came in and saved the day and really helped me that way. As always. So then yeah, I went to stay with Sophie for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And
So
then
Sacramento.
yeah, and then I joined you in Los Gatos for 2 weeks.
Mhm. Yep.
And
Christine
then I
was with
came
me
to
with that crazy
Seaside.
dog.
Yeah. And that really fun cat.
Pog the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that's happened also along the way. So, like within this last year of 2025, Christine's realized that she's an animal communicator.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like all of a sudden, she was traveling now out of just being alone in her home. And now she's in houses with animals. And so, and like having then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we're having like animal communication, like able to tap into an animal, have conversation with an animal, like get the translate back and forth with animals. Like, how cool is that? That just like randomly, and now with your travel, every place you've been to now along the way has presented different animals for you to talk to.
Yes, yes. And even like being presented with opportunities to like pet sit as
Yes,
well.
that's
So
right.
like, yeah, it's been yeah, because I never grew up with animals. Um and then the first time perhaps, I mean, I didn't realize that that's what this was, but when I came out to California and I stayed with my friend Yvonne, like there were two instances. One, like a bird was laying on her deck because she had heard like something thumping on the window. So she thinks that like it hit the window and then landed on her deck. And then when I came down, I just, for whatever reason, I felt compelled to say the Ho'oponopono. Did I just Ho'oponopono prayer to it? And yeah, like I might have done that for like maybe 15 minutes or so. And then I just wished it well. And then, Yvonne and I were preparing dinner or whatever. And then Yvonne looked out on the deck and she was like, oh my gosh, the bird flew away. The bird got up
Mhm.
and flew away. Oh, because actually what happened was it had been lying. And then as soon as I came down, it sat up and we were like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness. And so I just, I said the prayer and spent some time with the bird. And then it flew off. And so I was like, wow, that was incredible. And then she also had a skunk that was living underneath her house.
Mhm.
and we could smell it in one of the rooms, like through the vent or something like that. And Yvonne had been trying to like get it to leave for a while, and for whatever reason, I just was like, let me just connect with this skunk. And I was like, oh, there's a better home for you somewhere else. Like you should explore. And like, but this isn't where you want to be. And then the skunk left.
Yes!
And Yvonne
Oh
was like, how did you do that? I've been trying to get this skunk to leave for the longest time.
yes. Oh my God, I love this so much. Tell us other things that animals have said.
Hmm.
Because like, or like, yeah, tell us other like what was Augie like? What was Augie the dog like?
Oh my gosh. Augie, I have a special place in my heart for Augie. Um, I didn't realize it until a friend, Margaret, actually, she was like, "Oh, it looks like Augie came into your heart." I was like, "Yeah, he kind of barreled into my heart without me realizing it." He is such a sweet soul. Like, to me, he really is a good boy who just was never taught good boy behavior, right? So like even though, I was with you experiencing all the crazy things that he did, but ultimately I was like, he's just doing what he knows. Like in his
Yeah,
mind, from his perspective, he's just like no one told him otherwise, right?
fair.
Like,
It's fair.
and so he was just doing what he knew. Because the few things that he was taught, he did exceptionally well.
That's fair. That's very fair. And there was a time when he was getting real spastic and like we kind of wrestled him down and I was like, well, let's give him some energy healing, right? Remember? And
Oh,
we like
yes.
laid hands on him and he totally got a dog boner and started going to town on it. And I was like, we're never energy healing this dog again. I was like, this is disgusting. That's not nice of me, but it's actually, but that is true what happened. I was
Hmm.
kind of mortified. I was like, oh my God. And you were like, well, he's a good boy.
But it was kind of like, that kind of became a little bit of a running joke because I just felt like that was like, 'cause he even had it like on his collar, like,
Because I'm a good
Augie,
boy.
I'm a good boy, right? And I was like, he really has like adopted, like, that's his identity. Like,
Yeah.
I am a good boy.
Yeah, but he has bad boy behavior.
Because he doesn't know any better. He's never been taught any better. I don't think. I
That's
didn't get
very
that.
fair. He is a kind he's very kind. There's not a mean
Yes.
bone in his body. There's nothing but kindness in that dog. I love the dog too.
And and there were times when it was hard to remember that because
I'm a 44-year-old lady with my body is 44 and like that dog is made for a 17-year-old boy who can run like the wind and whose back has the and arms have the ability to be wrenched around like a dog like that. I can't get
right.
that dog was not
Yeah.
over.
Neither of us had the
Physical strength.
yes. In
Hmm.
that way, we were not a good match
Yeah.
with Augie. Yeah.
But
He needed
emotionally, I mean, he is a good boy, but like he needs a young, I don't know, I almost want to say dude, a young man to knock around with, or a young girl, I guess.
hmm
Somebody strong.
hmm Yeah.
And then also I appreciated your communication with the cat as well.
Mm,
At that house, Hobbs, because the cat loved to go outside and roam the property, and they would like go out overnight, and they were an explorer. And Christine, in connecting with the cat, I wasn't worried about him.
hmm
Like I wasn't concerned. They knew what they were doing. And
Yeah. It's actually like to be limited to just the house, he wouldn't have been happy at all.
right, he loves exploring the whole property. He's the protector of the palace. And even
Hmm.
even one morning I was out with my coffee. I don't even know if I told you this, but I saw him coming in from under the fence. Like it was like, 4:30 in the morning or something. And he came in from like beyond the property, like under the fence. He was out in the woods.
Wow. Meanwhile, it's like, oh, protect him from the mountain lion. Meanwhile, he's like, I'm
I am,
hanging out with the mountain lion.
yeah.
Like, We're besties.
Yeah, I think that he secretly goes off and hangs out with the mountain lions, and he's like, and he's the leader. He's like, guys, listen, if you listen to
Exactly.
me, I'm gonna get you in on this kibble. I know how when those doors are open. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're in a home with three cats?
Four cats.
Oh my God, have they said anything to you?
Well, only so most of them are outdoor cats.
Mm.
Um, and they're fairly young. So the one indoor cat, she's a senior cat. So she kind of hangs out in just one place. Um, but the other ones, every once in a while, so the couple whose house I'm renting from, they're like, oh yeah, they don't really venture upstairs, but every once in a while they've come upstairs. Um, and actually the one who's the most interactive, um, one time, so I work from home. And so I was in this room actually, and the door's closed, and I heard a meow, right? Like, because normally she'll come at night, just to explore. And I think this is the room that she enjoys exploring most, on this floor. So she meowed, and I was like, "Oh, hi." I was like, would you like to come in?" And she meowed a few more times, and I just got the sense that she was like, "Well, if you're going to be here, then no, I don't want to come in." But what I also got was like, "But don't keep the door closed. Like, keep it open so I can come and go as I please." Obviously, I have not honored that request.
Well, not while you're recording, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like while I'm working, it's like, sorry. But yeah, so that's the most, that's the furthest extent of it. But yeah, like I just, they come and go as they please. They're just like any other cat. Like they just do what they want.
I love this newfound animal communication skill or remembrance. It's a remembrance. It's probably something you've done in past lives and you just are remembering how to communicate with animals. You're like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, and it was actually Margaret who kind of helped me to realize it because she has two cats, and with one of her cats, when they had gotten sick, she asked because they had explored all these other options, and someone had said, well, you can talk to a pet psychic or an animal communicator, and she was like, I could. And then she thought, I'm going to ask Christine. So when she asked me, I was like, I mean, I was really honored, and I was like, sure, I'll see what I can do, you know. um and then yeah, it was really cool. Like it was really cool, just even without words, just even like being able to process, energy for the cat. And
Mhm.
then once I did that, I mean, that's kind of how it's worked the few times that I've done like more formal, like going in and doing a session where it's like I connect with the animal. I like kind of process whatever energy is up at that moment, and then the information will come. And sometimes, I'll ask like, "Oh, do you have any questions?" Um, So it's like a combination of like, their human asks questions, and then also like if there's anything else they want to share.
Mhm. Yeah, and that was a cool experience. Like Smudge said his throat hurt, so she didn't want to take the pills that she was being asked to take. She's like, no, I don't want to take that. My throat hurts.
Hmm.
I mean, that's really,
Yeah.
that's good awareness. I mean, like, no one would have made, like, how would one know that? You'd be trying to force the pill down the cat's throat, but the cat was saying, hey, my throat hurts.
Yeah. Because it was like, they're not going to want to take a pill anyway. But at that point in time, it was like, absolutely not. Like, no, that's not going to, because they weren't eating a whole lot. She wasn't eating a whole lot or drinking, I don't think either. And so it was just like, because it just wasn't pleasant for anything to really be going down her
Right.
throat in that moment. Yeah. And it was, yeah. And also just, being very like specific about like, oh, she would like more of, you know, sh she likes like being in like warm spots, like being able to lay in warm spots.
Mhm.
And then it was interesting, Margaret would share afterwards, like, even if it was just like where her daughter had been sitting on the floor, and so it was warm because of her body warmth. And then when her daughter moved, she noticed that Smudge like lay in that part of the floor because it was warm.
Yeah. So they just love being in warmer places.
Hmm.
So then that also helps Margaret maybe make her a warmer place to be sometimes, like a heating padded spot or something like that, like or a blanket by the sunlight or something.
Yeah, yeah. hmm Yeah. What also came through, what was really interesting too is, and I feel like this comes through every time, like even if an animal's human isn't aware, like they have a form of communicate. They're communicating all the time. And so it's like that was what came through a lot too. It's like especially, specifically for Margaret, it was like, oh, you already know what Smudge needs. So it's also like trust in it, you know? 'Cause it's like it's so easy to doubt and like, is it really, but it's like, especially when you develop a relation, I mean, Smudge is 12, right? So she's had Smudge for 12 years. So like they've developed a certain level of understanding.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's how it is for most of us. Like we actually have this innate knowing, we just don't realize it.
Yes. Yes. Well, we have to learn to write the Bible of ourselves. So it's almost like we don't know until we assign meaning to the awarenesses. So then spirit can communicate with us in the way that they know how to with the signs and symbols. So like when we develop the awareness, then we understand or we assign a meaning to it, then we know what it means when it comes into our world. But like that just takes time, practice, and patience to make the Bible of what do the things mean in order to then read them with the psychic awareness, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's also just like a being tapped into and curiosity and contemplation of the pet. I feel like
Yeah.
often we zip through the world where like you might just want an answer for the pet really fast as opposed to like really going in and spending time and really like monitoring, watching, and seeing what's going on with the animal. And Margaret really spends time with Smudge assessing them. So she has the ability to do that because she's really tapped in. I think that
hmm
sometimes maybe people don't know because just like Augie's under the impression that he is a good boy, more things like that when like you just they're part of the general overall household as opposed to being really read, learning to read them.
hmm
Like my husband, BB, our cat has passed on, but BB, he had such a tight connection with her. Like he knew that cat, and he knew when she was unwell, when
hmm
she died of cancer, and he knew when she developed that cancer. But until she started displaying signs that she was feeling unwell, not we didn't have any idea.
Right.
Yeah. And then by the time that we knew, she was so riddled with cancer that there was no going back. Like that was that. The
hmm
kind thing to do was help her leave.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also like, thinking about what you shared about, Corey and BB, which thank you for sharing that. It's like, because, how much of it is, and maybe it's just all of it, right? It's just everything. It's like having spent, because BB was 17 when she passed.
Unfortunately, no, she was actually only 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Either way, still, that was a
yeah.
long time to
It was a
spend. And
surprise for us, though. It was a surprise. We were hoping she would be here, until 16 to 20. Like we were hoping
mhm,
she'd always be here, but yeah.
yeah. Um, but still, that's 11 years, right? Because Corey had BB for a really long time, right? Like when she was a baby.
She came in from 6 weeks old.
Okay. Yeah. So it's also like when you know anyone
Hmm.
for that period of time, it's like how much of it is like your intuition versus just, like this relationship that you formed.
Hmm.
And I kind of feel like it's just all of it, right? And it's
Yeah.
like there's, like you said, like he could tell when some things were different because it just
Mhm.
wasn't her usual.
Yeah.
Um,
Can you tap into passed on pets? Can you hear BB? Do you want to try? Oh my God. It's just like putting you on the spot. I'm like, oh my God, let's try it. I want to know.
I don't know that I've ever tried connecting to an animal that's passed on, but I mean, I do connect with. I mean, I do have that medium ability. Like I do
You are a medium.
connect,
Let's. Oh my
right?
God. Oh my 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 God. Will you do it?
Let's see. Yeah,
Okay. No,
I'm open to trying.
no is
Hmm.
an okay answer. Oh my God. Okay. 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 I'll hold the space.
I'm reminded because I think it was a couple times when I came to your house when Bibi was still alive, and she loved smelling my shoes.
She did. She's a shoe sniffer. She loved everybody's shoes when they came to the house. She wanted to smell everybody's shoes.
She was like, I remember you by by your shoes.
Okay, so you got her.
Yeah,
Sweet. How is she? What's up? What's up?
she feels a lot lighter. Like her energy feels a lot lighter because she's just really happy. She's content. Mm. She misses you and Corey, and she says that she comes by
Sometimes we
pretty often.
sometimes we smell her, and sometimes Corey will see like a little shadow out of the corner of his eye. Like she does come around, I think.
Yeah. She says she really likes her resting place.
Oh, under the bench.
Yeah.
When she we had an organization come that helped her pass on, and she passed on in her home, and I had gone and dug this really deep hole in the backyard, 3 foot hole. It took me 2 days to dig it, but I had a measuring stick. I wanted to make sure that nobody would ever get to her. And when we had a friend, Noah was over, and I couldn't put her in the hole. It was such a deep
Mhm.
hole, you had to lay on the ground and then drop, to take her and put your arms all the way down in to get her in the hole. And so Noah put her in the hole. And when she was being lowered into the hole, I just felt this overwhelming sense of just absolute lightness, joy, ecstasy. It was like my body had the sensation of like the more you know rainbow just zipping through my whole body. And I just felt this like absolute release and this beautiful. And when she was going down the hole, and my body just like, it was this sensation of just absolute joy, like a rainbow shooting across the sky. And I knew that she was okay then.
Yeah.
So was that her giving me a cool, I'm peace out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she's very much at peace. She's very content. Um, and I think that was also like in that moment that you experienced because like she was just really happy with where she was,
Yeah.
she was really happy with that situation, like to be, but that's where that's where her body was going to
We do miss
be
her.
laid to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do miss her.
Yeah.
And Corey still misses her a lot, like all the time.
Yeah. There's just so much love, like so much love for the two of you. And just really, just thank you for like just all the care and providing such a safe and comforting home, like safe and comfortable home where she really felt safe and loved. And that's why she comes back. just to say hi.
Is she gonna come back in another pet for us, or is that aspect of her going to just be there when we go to the other side?
I was wondering if she was in one of the kittens that,
No,
but no, I agree. Yeah, no, that wasn't her.
we'd know.
Yeah. So she has not taken on another, she hasn't become embodied yet.
She doesn't have to. There's no pressure. It's sort of a
Right.
fun
Yeah.
question. Like, she should just enjoy herself, and if she wants to return, that's wonderful, but also no pressure.
What I'm getting is, she wouldn't be opposed to it, but at this point in time, she kind of is just enjoying her situation right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, BB.
Because also she could come back as anything.
I know. It's true. She could be a bird. She could be a horse. She could be a dog. She could be whatever she wanted.
Yeah. So she's kind of just waiting for the right situation that appeals to her.
Yeah.
Basically, like if she's going to become embodied again, she wants it has to be better than what she has right now for her to want to do it.
Well, it sounds like a pretty sweet deal where she's at.
Yeah. She's really loving it. Yeah. And she loves what you've done with the garden too.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Corey loves working out there. Yeah. Is there a way that she would like to be honored, or she's happy? She's chill. She doesn't care.
Yeah. I mean, just the resting place you gave her is like a really beautiful honor. Like that's, you don't, she doesn't need more than that. Like, she loves that. Um, and she also says, listen, if you feel inspired to do something, that's great, but she's not looking for you, she's not wanting anything more.
Okay.
Just even us doing this, that's nice. Just that you continue to think of her and have all this love for her.
There's a lot of love for her.
Yeah. And she, I'm feeling that too. She's sending that. She's giving that right back to you, which again is why she hangs out there. She could choose to she could choose to go anywhere she wants.
What did she think when we had those kittens for 7 days? She's like, oh my God.
Yeah, kind of. Like, what are you getting yourself into? Like, that's a lot. And at the same time, like, she also wants you to be happy. So if that's making you happy, certainly Corey, like, if that's making him happy, like, then she's happy for you.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny. Um, I wonder what does BB think about us? We keep thinking about Superstar, the kitten, the runt. Like, what does BB think of Superstar? Would Superstar be a good cat to bring into our lives?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, she gives the.
Yeah.
Well, what about Malcolm? If we were thinking about two, would it be Superstar and Malcolm, or would it be Superstar and Lilith?
Lilith is a stronger read. And actually, she thinks that two would be good because one, they can keep each other company. Um, Nothing against Malcolm, but for whatever reason, it feels more like Lilith.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Lilith is the sassy one. Like, she's the one that is the biggest, so it would be the runt and the biggest. It's interesting because Corey is attracted to Malcolm.
Mm.
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Malcolm, nothing against Malcolm. It's just, it's funny because she says like Lilith would be the one that would be in charge.
Yeah.
Like Superstar, she says Superstar is a superstar. And so like, she would be the one that was like beloved. Like, and Lilith would really take care. Like Lilith would be in charge, but also like Lilith would like really take care of her. So even though I'm saying like, or she's saying Lilith would be in charge, it's really that like Superstar is running the show.
Okay. All right. Because
You
Superstar,
know?
Superstar. Now, what if we just, would Superstar be okay to have alone as just one cat? Or would Superstar prefer companion?
It can go either way. So Superstar would be fine alone as a single cat. Um, and it would also be a lot of fun to have another cat.
Okay. I'd only ever thought about one pet, and then when I saw the three cats together, when I did see them interacting and playing, it made me think, oh, it might be of benefit to them to have a partner in the home, to have that other energy with them playing. It might be nice for them.
Yes, agreed. I don't know why. I just really get this like sense that Lilith would, even though Lilith just has a lot of like big sister energy.
Agreed.
So like even though they're essentially all the same age, right? But like it just feels like Lilith would
They are this, yeah,
um
they're the same litter. Well, Corey and Noah really liked Malcolm, but I would probably have chosen Lilith. But Lilith is a sassy girl. Like she's n take no bars. Like she's a bee. Like,
yeah, yeah. Um
but
and like
I like a bee.
yeah. And it just feels like Lilith could be a really good mentor for Superstar. Like and just protect her. I don't know why I feel like maybe because it's, being the runt. Malcolm feels like he could very well be like he would do really well just being a single cat.
Okay, these are all good things to hear. I'm just looking at the time, and for to honor everyone's time, I think that we can disconnect and call it a day. But
Yeah,
this is the funnest. You got me to give, I had a little tears. I had some tears here.
yeah. Just the last thing BB wants to say is just really thank you to you and Corey for giving her such a good life. She really enjoyed her time being your cat, and she
Aw,
loves you both.
love you, BB.
Yeah, thank you, BB. Okay. Yay! That was fun.
Loved it. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing.
Well, this is so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin. So everybody, this is Christine. She's amazing.
Takes one to know one.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for spending time. And Christine Chu, ladies and gentlemen, pet psychic. We can decide what she does not have a business where she literally does this, and she can choose to decide how she wants to show up in the show notes. But we will have that conversation and she will show up in the show notes. She does have a website.
I
Um,
do.
and but yeah, if you liked that, she can do it.
Yes. My website hasn't been updated in a while, so it doesn't say anything about the animal communication. But, you know, if there's any interest, yeah, we can provide my contact information and you can reach out.
Hmm. Yeah. And she can go into the energy and move it. I've seen it in action. She's done it for me countless times. We didn't even begin to The amount of weird experiences that the two of us had together, the amount of stories, the amount of going into past life stuff, all of it, it could just go on and on and on. It would be a week long. We could write a book, but that was just a fun time. I'm wondering, actually, I'm putting you on the spot again. I'm wondering if you would be open to sharing the wonderful world of muscle testing as
Ah,
hump day healing. And you get to actually think about that one. Because Christine, when she was in Psych K, really got good at muscle testing. And she recorded a little video. The two of us recorded a video for my Return to Self-Love morning healing program just to teach the other students in the group how to do muscle testing. So we made this little 10-minute video, and Christine walks through the ways of teaching it. But that might be actually a really nice hump day healing for YouTube if you're open to it. But no pressure, no pressure. You think about that one, and we'll see.
okay. I will let you know.
All right, my beloved lady. I love you so much. I love you, love you, love you.
I love you too.
And God, Universe,
Big
Source loves
hugs.
you. Thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.